everyone, and a very warm welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in, and today we are on to episode number 4 in the series of Market Stall Archive Recipes. Now this was definitely a firm favourite, especially with the kids at the market. They loved their rocky roads, and of course as adults we love it too. And it's so nice on a day like this where here it is blustery, wet and windy. So I'm really going to enjoy mine with a lovely cup of tea or coffee later on. So let's have a look and see what ingredients we need. And the equipment too. Sorry about that little pause. This one here, he wanted to get in the show again, Mr. Iced Tea. So, you know, I've got to put my priorities first. So what we'll do now is we'll leave the screen up for a couple of seconds so you can take a snapshot of all the ingredients and also the equipment. And I'll also put the PDF version in the description box so that you can have the full recipe if you want to try this at home. Anyway, I'm going to go deal with my cat and I'll be back in a moment. Say bye. Now, the reason I love this recipe is not only does it need very few ingredients, we've got 7 ingredients here. It uses very little heat as well, so it's a great one to get the kids involved. The only heat you really use is to melt the butter, the golden syrup and the chocolate. So a very easy one, very cheap to make as well. Now the first thing you're going to do is take your block of 250 grams of butter, cut it into 4 and put it into a heavy based pan on a very low heat. This is to melt the butter. Keep the heat on low because we do not want to burn the butter. So once your butter started melting, chop up your 800 grams of dark chocolate. It doesn't have to be cut up neatly, any which way. The cutting up purely makes it melt a lot quicker. And while the chocolate is melting, you're going to add in your 6 tablespoons of golden syrup. Now you're going to gently stir those together to form your chocolatey base. This will take around 5 minutes. We've got to take this slowly because if we turn the heat too high, we could get some burning, so be very cautious. Turn the heat off now, but leave the pot on the hot plate. Next, take 300 ml of your chocolatey mixture and separate that. We're going to use that at the end to seal the rocky road. Our next job is to take our rich tea biscuits, 400 grams, and put them into a plastic bag. A freezer bag is pretty good, and you're going to batter it with a rolling pin. Such a great stress reliever. Don't go too far with it though. We want some nice little chunks in there as well as some crumbs. So take those crushed biscuits and pour those into your chocolatey buttery mixture. Get your spatula and stir the biscuits in. You're going to need a lot of elbow grace here because, yeah, it's a lot to stir. So get your muscles out and give it a good stir. Make sure everything is evenly distributed. Now we're going to add in our 50 grams of sultanas. You can use raisins, but I really do feel sultanas are just that little bit nicer with this recipe. And then you're going to take half of your cherries and sprinkle those in, and half of your little mini marshmallows. The rest we're going to be using for decorating at the end. We're going to stir those in nice and gently and not leave them on the heat too long, because obviously the marshmallows will melt if we leave them too long. At the same time, we've got to keep it on the heat just to make the stirring a little bit easier. So quickness is the key here. Now you're going to pour this mixture into your pre-greased trays I'm using the silicone ones with coconut oil, but you can use standard tin, but please make sure you line them because you'll need to get them out of these trays once they have set. Now take your 300 ml of chocolatey mixture that you put to one side and spread that over both of the trays. This will seal them and also help our cherries and our marshmallows that we're going to put on top to stick on. Take the remaining cherries and sprinkle them over the top along with your marshmallows. This gives a really nice appetizing look and great for serving too. Once we finish with the decorating of the marshmallows, we're going to take around 50 grams of chocolate. It can be white, milk, dark, whatever you like. And we're going to spread that very, very randomly with a little teaspoon and create a kind of graffiti effect all over the top. This not only seals in the marshmallows and the cherries, it creates a really nice effect. And that is it now. We have finished our rocky roads, and so we're going to take them now and pop them in the fridge for at least 4 hours or overnight to set. Now time is of essence here because once we take them out, they'll start to warm up and it's much easier to work with when they're cold. So pop them out and now take a very large knife, cut one of the trays into 4 pieces and then cut them again at an angle, and that will give you 8 rocky roads per tray. So we've got 2 trays, so altogether we're going to have 16 rocky roads. They will keep in an airtight container in the fridge for around 3 days. And the last thing we're going to do is take some icing sugar and we're going to sprinkle that over the top of the rocky road, and it just stops them sticking together and it looks pretty beautiful too. And voila, we are finished. What a lovely, decadent, colourful treat. I hope you might try it this weekend. Well, thanks again everyone for tuning in and joining me. It's always a pleasure to connect with you here, and also if you don't follow me already, follow me over on Twitter. I leave the handles there. Got 2 accounts over there, one personal one and one for the business LJJ Surfacing. Talking of them, this is the bottle of Prosecco I'm about to open. I took it from there because really they should never have put me in charge of it in the first place. And I'm going to have it along with my rocky road. It's been a tough week, guys. I hope you all have a great week or weekend, whatever day of the week it is. Keep smiling, keep shining, and catch up with you next Friday.